Do many people still believe that the refrigerator is the safest place for food? But what few people realize is that some familiar foods, when stored in the fridge, not only lose their flavor, but also have their nutritional structure destroyed, triggering harmful chemical reactions and even reducing substances that protect the heart, brain, and digestion. According to multiple reliable studies, improper storage can cause you to unknowingly waste the most valuable nutrients in your food, or worse, generate toxins like acrylamide or harmful oxidants. In this video, we aim to help you clearly understand 9 common foods that people over 60 should avoid storing in the refrigerator, as they may have a silent yet detrimental effect on your health every day. If you find this topic helpful, don't hesitate to click like and subscribe. We share one small tip each day, easy to apply, gentle, and truly aligned with the changing body after age 60. All information in the video comes from published and verified scientific research. We've included the full references in the description below, so you can look them up anytime. Now let's get started with the first food. Number 1. Tomatoes. Do not put in the fridge if you want to preserve nutrients. Older adults often choose tomatoes as a healthy fruit or vegetable because they contain vitamin C, lycopene, and natural enzymes that help reduce inflammation, support digestion, boost iron absorption, and protect the heart. But if you store them improperly, such as keeping them in the refrigerator for several days, all those benefits may be wiped out. Many people think refrigeration helps food last longer. But with tomatoes, that is completely wrong. And we have clear scientific proof of it. Tomatoes are tropical fruits, meaning they thrive in warm conditions. When placed in a cold environment like the fridge, typically around 4 degrees Celsius or 39 degrees Fahrenheit, their natural ripening process is halted, but not in a preserving way. Instead, tomatoes go into a disrupted state. Key enzymes for flavor and nutrition are inhibited, sugar metabolism slows, acidity increases, and cells begin to break down. To put it simply, tomatoes are like a musical instrument playing a beautiful tune. But once placed in the fridge, the strings freeze, resulting in distorted, unpleasant sound. The outcome is, although the tomato may appear fine on the outside, internally its structure has been damaged and nutrients destroyed. A 2010 study by Farnetti et al., published in Acta Horticulturae, stored ripe tomatoes at 4 degrees Celsius and compared them with those kept at 15 degrees Celsius. After 5 to 10 days, the refrigerated tomatoes had lower sweetness, higher acidity, softened more quickly, and were more easily bruised, especially cocktail varieties. Although they didn't appear visibly spoiled, their perceived quality had declined. Similarly, a study by Ida et al. In 2010, published in AU Journal of Technology, found that after just 14 days of cool storage, vitamin C content in tomatoes dropped from 3.3 milligrams per milliliter to 0.0 milligrams per milliliter, completely lost. Sugar content dropped by over 60%, while moisture increased significantly, indicating cell breakdown. Additionally, research by Nasrin et al. In 2008 in the Bangladesh Journal of Agricultural Research reported that vitamin C dropped from 12.3 milligrams per 100 grams to just 4.1 to 5.3 milligrams per 100 grams, and if not packaged properly, spoilage rates could reach 100% in a short period. In short, even if a tomato looks intact on the outside, it may be nutritionally depleted on the inside, no longer the healing food you thought it was. Therefore, store tomatoes outside the fridge, at room temperature in a cool, ventilated area, away from sunlight. Use a bamboo basket or breathable paper box. Avoid stacking them. Tomatoes bruise easily. If buying in bulk, prioritize consuming the ripest ones first. Ripened tomatoes can be made into sauces, blanched briefly, then frozen, but never freeze raw tomatoes as it will completely rupture their cell structures. For those living alone or cooking infrequently, A simple tip is to buy only what you need for the next 3 to 4 days. Store them in a cool spot. Tomatoes will continue to ripen naturally and retain their full enzymes, vitamin C and lycopene. Number 2. Potatoes, a hidden risk behind a familiar food. Potatoes are a staple at dinner, mashed, baked, or fried. Many people store them in the fridge to keep them longer. But few realize that at low temperatures, potatoes don't just sit still. They continue to change internally, accumulating compounds that may negatively affect your health if not handled properly. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at detoxification, so foods that once seemed harmless can become an invisible burden on the liver and nervous system. When stored in the fridge, typically 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, the starch in potatoes gradually converts into simple sugars like glucose and fructose, a process called cold-induced sweetening. You may notice a slightly sweet taste after cooking and think it's a good sign. But those excess sugars, when exposed to high heat during frying or baking, react with a natural amino acid in potatoes called asparagine to form acrylamide, a substance classified by the International Agency for Research on Cancer, stand for IARC, as a Group 2A carcinogen EFSA in 2015, FDA in 2021. Additionally, if stored too long or exposed to light, the potato skin may turn green and sprout, signs of increased glycoalkaloids like alpha-solanine and alpha-chaconine. These are natural toxins that can cause nausea, dizziness, stomach pain, and even neurological symptoms if accumulated, according to Sun et al., NPJ, Science of Food in 2023. According to research by Sobczak and Kaczmarek in 2020, published in the Scientific Journal of Gdynia Maritime University, potatoes stored at 2 to 4 degrees Celsius for extended periods showed significantly higher levels of glucose and fructose, the key ingredients for acrylamide formation during high-heat cooking. A study by Sun et al. In 2023 in NPJ Science of Food found that when potatoes sprout or turn green, glycoalkaloid levels can exceed 200 milligrams per kilogram, a threshold considered dangerous to human health. These compounds are not fully destroyed during normal cooking, especially when potatoes are only lightly fried or steamed. According to the European Food Safety Authority in 2015, potato chips made from tubers that have been stored in the refrigerator may contain acrylamide levels 2 to 4 times higher than normal. Acrylamide is a toxic compound that forms when potatoes high in sugar are fried or baked at high temperatures. Although it is odorless and colorless, acrylamide has been classified by the World Health Organization as a potential carcinogen when consumed over the long term. For older adults, this compound also places additional stress on the liver and kidneys and can easily damage cells. Just one simple storage mistake, like keeping potatoes in the fridge, can silently impact health over time. Instead of storing potatoes in the fridge, keep them in a cool, dry, dark place, ideally between 7 to 10 degrees Celsius. Use a paper bag or breathable basket and avoid sealing in plastic. Don't wash them before storing, as moisture encourages sprouting. If you've already stored potatoes in the fridge, they're still usable, but only steam or boil them. Never fry or bake at high temperatures. If they've turned green or sprouted, discard them, as peeling won't remove all toxins. Buy only what you can use within 1 to 2 weeks and check frequently. If you're craving something crispy, try thin-sliced baked pumpkin as a tasty, healthier alternative. Number 3. Garlic. Improper storage may destroy its most powerful compounds. Many older adults include garlic in their daily diet, believing, correctly, that it helps reduce inflammation, support blood pressure, and boost immunity. But if you've been eating garlic regularly and haven't seen noticeable health improvements, the problem might not be the amount you consume, but how you're storing it. If you tend to keep whole bags of garlic in the fridge, you might unknowingly be degrading its most valuable compounds. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, a completely odorless precursor. When garlic is crushed or chopped, an enzyme called alliinase converts allicin into allicin. Allicin is what gives garlic its signature smell and its strongest antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and cardiovascular benefits. But to effectively produce allicin, the sulfur-based precursors like allicin and gamma-glutamyl cysteine sulfoxide must remain stable. The problem is, when garlic is stored in a cold environment, especially a household fridge at 4 degrees Celsius, these precursors begin to degrade. Instead of forming allicin, garlic accumulates isoallicin, which is harder to convert into allicin and is significantly less bioactive. So even if the garlic still smells, its actual health effects are greatly diminished. In a study published in Plant Foods for Human Nutrition in 2006, the team of Jill Hughes, Hamish A. Collin, and colleagues tracked the chemical changes in garlic over 6 months of storage at 4 degrees Celsius, the typical temperature of a household refrigerator. The results revealed that something seemingly harmless had a significant impact. The level of isoallicin, a precursor responsible for garlic's strong pungency, skyrocketed from just 0.6 millimoles per liter initially to 7.1 millimoles per liter in the outer cloves after 6 months. Meanwhile, beneficial sulfur compounds such as gamma-glutamyl allyl cysteine sulfoxide, which help the body produce allicin, a powerful antimicrobial agent, declined rapidly. This led to an important consequence. Although the amount of allicin, the main precursor to allicin, did not drop significantly, the imbalance among components caused garlic to lose its ability to effectively convert into allicin when chopped, crushed, or eaten raw. In other words, the garlic still looked fine on the outside, but had lost much of the medicinal power people seek when using garlic for its health benefits. Additionally, the study found that the outer garlic cloves, where most of the active compounds are concentrated, were the most affected by cold storage, showing a faster decline in both flavor and bioactive value. A gentle but important warning. Garlic stored in the refrigerator for extended periods may still appear visually appealing, but inside, its nutritional content and health protective properties have noticeably diminished. To preserve garlic's full bioactivity, store it in a dry, ventilated area away from light, ideally at room temperature between 18 to 22 degrees Celsius. Do not refrigerate whole bulbs unless they've already been processed for freezing. For long-term storage, crush raw garlic, freeze it in ice cube trays, and use as needed. This retains most of the sulfur compounds. Also, use garlic immediately after chopping or crushing and let it sit for 10 minutes before cooking. This allows the alliinase enzyme to fully activate the formation of allicin. This tip is especially valuable for adults over 50 looking to improve cardiovascular and immune health. Number 4. Avocado, a nutritious fruit that can lose its value when stored improperly. Have you ever cut open what seemed like a perfectly ripe avocado, only to find the flesh mushy, stringy, or blackened in the center? If that avocado had been stored in the fridge while still unripe, the culprit is something called chilling injury. Avocados have an extremely sensitive enzyme structure. While still unripe, enzymes like polygalacturonase stand for PG and pectin methylesterase stand for PME, regulate the softening process, allowing the fruit to ripen smoothly and evenly from the outside in. However, when an unripe avocado is placed in the fridge, especially below 5 degrees Celsius, 41 degrees Fahrenheit, these enzymes are suppressed and disrupted. As a result, the ripening process is thrown off. The outer skin may soften due to air exposure after being removed from the fridge, but the inner flesh is not ready. This creates an outside-in ripening effect, causing the avocado to taste bland, feel mushy, or have a stringy texture, Not only is the flavor lost, but the fruit's structural integrity becomes unstable. In a study published in Post-Harvest Biology and Technology in 1994, researchers Giora Zauberman and Marcel Jobin-Decor examined how temperature affects the quality of Hass avocados. They stored the avocados at 2 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Celsius, and 8 degrees Celsius for 4 weeks. Results showed that at 2 degrees Celsius, the avocado maintained a green skin and firm texture. When moved to room temperature, 22 degrees Celsius, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, the fruit ripened evenly without darkening or becoming mushy, indicating this was the ideal storage temperature for unripe avocados. However, at 5 degrees Celsius, the avocado began ripening inside the fridge by the 4th week. Upon cutting open, the flesh showed slight dark spots, evidence of mild tissue damage. The most severe case was at 8 degrees Celsius, close to the temperature of many home refrigerators. At this level, the avocado began ripening as early as the 2nd week, and when brought to room temperature, the flesh showed significant blackening, along with vascular browning, darkening along the internal vein lines. This indicated that the internal tissue structure had broken down due to uncontrolled and uneven ripening. Similarly, a study by S. Belinska et al. In 2023, published in Potravinarstvo Slovak Journal of Food Science, also found that improper avocado storage, especially below 5 degrees Celsius for prolonged periods, not only affected texture, but also caused substantial declines in key chemical indicators like vitamin C, unsaturated fatty acids, moisture, and natural creaminess. These losses directly impact the nutritional value and heart health benefits that avocados are known for. In a study published in Post-Harvest Biology and Technology, according to Zauberman and Jobin-Decor in 1994, scientists stored Hass avocados at 3 degrees Celsius different temperatures, 2 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Celsius, and 8 degrees Celsius for 4 weeks. They found that at 2 degrees Celsius, the avocados retained firmness and green skin color throughout storage. When brought back to room temperature, 22 degrees Celsius, they ripened evenly without tissue browning. In contrast, avocados stored at 5 degrees Celsius began ripening by the 4th week and showed light browning in the flesh. At 8 degrees Celsius, avocados ripened early by the 2nd week and later developed noticeable discoloration and vascular browning, brown streaks along the vascular lines. Another study by Belinska et al. In 2023, published in the Potravinarstvo Slovak Journal of Food Science, also showed that key indicators such as vitamin C content, unsaturated fatty acid structure, moisture level, and sensory quality significantly declined when avocados were stored improperly in cold environments, especially below 5 degrees Celsius for extended periods. If you buy avocados that are still firm, don't rush to put them in the fridge. Let them ripen naturally in a dry, well-ventilated place at room temperature. You can place them next to a banana to speed up the ripening process using ethylene gas. Once the avocado is soft to the touch, you can refrigerate it to keep it fresh for another 1 to 2 days, but no longer. If you want to store it even longer, you can scoop out the flesh, place it in an airtight container, and freeze it. But be aware that this may alter the texture when thawed. Never refrigerate unripe avocados. Doing so will disrupt the natural ripening cycle and ruin both the structure and nutritional quality of the fruit. Thank you for staying with us until the very last minute. We hope the knowledge shared in today's video will help you store your food better and preserve the full nutritional value for your health each day, especially after age 50, when every small choice contributes to building a stronger body and a clearer mind. If you found this content helpful, don't hesitate to share it with your loved ones. Wishing you peace, good health, and the energy to fully enjoy each moment with those you love. See you again in the next video.